Morning, everyone, and welcome to the EC Cabinet Member Children's Services meeting. The first item on the agenda is the monitoring of the Executive Cabinet Members' decisions, and you've had an enclosure. Members, any comments, questions, or queries? No? Very well, we note this report. Item 2 is the Children's Performance Management Report for Q3. Paul, who's taking this? Are you doing it, or is it Alison?
If that's okay, I'll just give a brief summary. So this is the Q3 performance report for the Directorate. It just outlines what we've delivered, what difference we've made, and what have been the challenges over the last quarter. It's split into three main areas around children's social care and early help, inclusive education and learning, and around SEND. And there's also an inspection overview at the end of the report, along with some performance profiles of nationally published data. So, I mean, there's a lot of content there. Quite happy to take any questions on any of the detail.
Members, any questions, comments, queries? I mean, I would just like to comment and say that I found this report really interesting and very, very factual. You know, that there's a lot of good information in there, particularly on, you know, where we started out, and then you compare it as to what difference we've made. And I felt that was really useful, you know, to see that and to be able to say, look, that's what it was like before, that's what we've done, and that's what the outcome is. You know, it was a really, really in-depth and very factual report, and I really enjoyed reading it. So what do I do with this? So note this report.
Yeah, it's just for noting. Although
Thanks,
it's a
Councillor
comprehensive
Donahue.
report, yeah, we'll just note that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item 3 is the procurement of the Special Educational Needs and Disabilities Information Advice and Support Service. And Tracy's going to take this one for the last time, Tracy.
Thank you, Councillor Donahue. Just to say thank you, everyone. So this paper is to inform executive members of the upcoming end date of the Special Education Needs and Disability Information Advice and Support Service, and to say that we're also seeking permission to undertake a full procurement exercise in preparation for the end of the contract. The paper talks you through in brief the background to the current tender award. We have a statutory duty, and that is outlined in section 1.2, and it also strongly emphasises the partnership approach which has been developed throughout the duration of the existing contractual arrangements. Section 2 is the main breadth of the report, and I'll particularly draw your attention to 2.3, 2.4 and 2.5. And that's to say that the IS provides confidential arm's length service which is offered on behalf of the council and its partners, and it's absolutely a vital service that needs to be maintained to ensure that we can meet the ongoing support of those vulnerable children and their families across the borough. The current contract value is 81,300, of which 16,695 is currently contributed by GM Integrated Care Board. And whilst we expect that to continue, it's just to note that that is the current contractual arrangement. There is no rationale for reducing this budget line given the service that it provides. The options are outlined in section 3. Option 1 would be to authorise the completion of the full procurement exercise, and that would be to seek approval to contract for a period of 3 years with a further option to extend for another +1+1, therefore a maximum of 5 years. The financial section is detailed in section 4, and then finally I'll draw you to the conclusion, which is to approve option 1 and authorise the completion of a full procurement exercise for the tender of the Special Education Needs and Disability Information, Advice and Support Service contract, to grant permission for the new contract to be awarded following that procurement exercise for a period of 3+1+1 additional years, and finally to authorise the Borough Solicitor to carry out any necessary legal formalities. Happy to take any questions, Chair.
Members, any questions, comments, queries? No? Very well. I approve option 1. I approve the grant, the permission for a new contract to be awarded, and authorise the borough solicitor to carry out all necessary legal formalities.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Item
Thank you.
number 4 is the statutory proposal, Greenfold School, and members have a report. And this again, is this you, Paul?
Yes, Chair, thank you. So this is the next stage of the process that we have to go through to make a significant change to Greenfold School in the way of expansion. So this is, we've now published the statutory notice, and this is just approving the next stage to move forward with the expansion. The details in the report, quite happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Members, any comments or questions, queries? No, very well. We approve the statutory proposals as laid out in the report in relation to Greenfold Special School.
Can I just come in on that? Sorry, I did put my hand up, but you must.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon, Maureen.
Okay. It's just a comment, really. I know that the school has done at least 2 consultation events for residents. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to either of them due to other commitments, but I have had residents come to me with concerns over parking, because it's quite in a high residential area, particularly on Highfield Drive, and we're increasing this capacity by over 40%. I think I calculated it at 42%. I've not had a chance to look at the plans. Is there going to be any additional parking for staff there? And also, is it within the school's power to maybe to send an email to parents or carers who are going there to just ask them to be considerate of residential parking?
The short answer to both of those is yes. The idea, parking and other things will be picked up as part of the planning application process, which is the next stage. But the school can send information out to parents to advise them about where to park and suggest that they park in other areas. But the school can't enforce parking in the area.
I think it's a really good point. I've been at the school at kind of chucking out time, for want of a better description, and because of the buses that come in, as well as the parental car parking, and because it's a kind of, there's a bit of a cul-de-sac bit at the bottom entrance, it is horrendous, and I feel for the residents. I think parents are really inconsiderate generally. I don't mean Greenfold parents, I mean generally parents outside schools are shocking and will park across people's drives and generally ignore all manner of polite kind of guidance from schools. I'm not sure how we resolve it, but I certainly think it's important to take it back from this into the feedback and think about what could be done because of the particular layout, particularly of that bottom site at Greenfold. It is a real challenge at kind of any time from kind of 2:15, I think, till about 3:30. And certainly if you're on a visit, there's no point trying to get out of there until after 4 o'clock, because it's, you know, carnage, for want of a better description. So I think it's a point well made, Councillor Flitcroft, and I'll get Paul to speak to the school and look at whether there's any more creative ways. I don't think it's the staff parking. I think the car park at the moment, if it meets the needs, I think the challenge is when the buses come in and also the parental parking. So we will have a look at it.
I was thinking, I know I live next door but one to St Peter's School, and they've introduced school streets, but that wouldn't be a viable option there because of the need to be close to the school.
Councillor Flitcroft, there's going to be things that come forward as part of the planning application, and this is where these sort of things will be dealt with in terms of the parking, and that's part of the assessment of the planning application. So we can line things up as Bernie says, and we can take this to the next stage.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Okay, well, that takes us to the end of the agenda. I've just got a couple of points. First of all, I'd like to wish Tracy all the very best after this her last day, and you know, hope that you have a lovely time going forward. All the best of luck as well, Tracy, and thank you for all your help, and thank you for your assistance, both in my term, and I'm sure I speak for Councillor Galloway as well. And as it is the last meeting of the municipal year, I'd like to thank all the Children's Services team for all your support to me during the last 12 months or thereabouts. It doesn't seem like a year. I mean, good Lord, Sue and I were just saying the time flies. But I'd also like to thank the members from the other parties who come to the ECM meetings for your contributions and for your observations throughout the year, and wish you all the best going forward. I think Andy wants to come in. Andy?
Thanks, Martin. Just crave your indulgence, because Councillor Galloway has certainly asked me to pass on a thanks and best wishes to Tracy. I had the same privilege yesterday, so I've done it twice. So good luck with everything you do, and obviously Anna's asked me to thank you, Martin, as well, for your chairing of obviously being the cabinet member for the children's. But we'll see you later, Tracy. Don't escape. I'm coming in to see you later.
Oh, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for your attendance this morning, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.